Good evening, and you're welcome to the 25th edition of Power Session with Jumoke. And today we were looking at what is next for PMP after PMBOK 8th edition release. PMP is not based on PMBOK. The last time the entire exam PMP was based on PMBOK was 6th edition. So it changed 2nd January 2021. And I remember I was president then, how I was agitating that how can the exam change and we don't have the PMBOK for members and all that. And I was also educated that no, PMP is no longer based on just PMBOK. So PMP is not based on PMBOK. It's based on PMBOK and some additional books. PMP is based on exam content outline. We call it ECO. All right, that is what it's based on. So it's like you having a pot of soup or stew. You have fish, you have meat, you have tomatoes, you have pepper, you have onions. And so we can say the PMBOK is maybe onion or tomatoes or meat, you see? So what is the exam content outline? Now, it's important that when you want to do your PMP, especially for those that are yet to write their PMP exam, that you get an ATP. ATP stands for Authorized Training Partner. Authorized Training Partner is one, you would have written your own PMP. Two, you would have gone through the trainer. Three, you would have written an exam. So if I want to become ATP on PMP, it means I have PMP certification. Then I will go through train the trainer, and then I will write exam on the PMP, and it is when I pass that I'll be given the badge ATP. And now, as an ATP instructor, you have to train under an ATP institution. So I can't just go out and start training. It has to be under an ATP. And you can easily search ATPs in your country when you filter it. If you're interested, I can give you the link later for you to be able to filter. I don't think we're up to 7 in Ghana, okay? And when you go, you can see the certification. Each ATP is authorized to train because people are just training. Because we, the students, also don't do due diligence to investigate and find out whether they qualify to do the training. So the exam content currently started 2nd January 2021 with the introduction of the PMBOK 7th edition. So currently, the exam is based on 42% on people. So if you are writing your exam, the 180 questions, 42% of it will be on people, your team, project team members, your stakeholders, management, customers, all will be under this 42%. And then process, whether it's adaptive, predictive, hybrid, system engineering, value, and all that, is 50% of the question of the exam you are writing. And then business environment that talks about governance, compliance, strategy, portfolio, and all that is 8% of the exam currently now. Now, when the new exam kicks off, this will be the composition. People, the exam you're going to write, 33% of it will be on people, 41% of it will be on process, and business environment will be 26%. You know, previously people just think, oh, business environment, 8%, I don't need to do much about it. But people are actually feeling business environment because if you cannot think strategically, you're not thinking about compliance, you're not thinking about project governance, you're likely going to bump. Why do we have these different categories or the proportion? Why has it changed? It's based on research findings. PMI is realizing that people that are managing projects, they are working in different environments and they need to understand the environments within which they are operating. And so now, or when the exam change, 40% will be based on predictive. Even currently, people come out after the exam and they say, oh, most of the questions were on hybrid or on adaptive. So that's what it's going to be. 40% will be on predictive. And what do we mean by predictive? That is the plan-based or plan-driven, all right, that you can plan from beginning to end. And then the remaining 60% will be divided between adaptive and hybrid. This is where we're talking about agile, you're talking about Scrum, your ability to, that means the approach is driven by change. So it's not something that you can avoid. You need to understand and master both predictive, adaptive / hybrid. Now, if you paid attention to the 7th edition, the PMBOK 7th edition, you realize that the exam content outline is broken down into domain. So now our domains are people, process, and business environment. Now, under the domain, we also have task and you have enablers. And if you understand this, when you are reading question or you are studying with the consciousness of, so what in this is a task and what in this can we refer to as enabler. I decided to write the definition out for us. That domain refer to the high-level knowledge area, people, process, business environment. And then task is the underlying responsibilities of the project manager within each domain area. It would help you to identify the knowledge that is critical to the project. So when they give you situational questions or scenarios, they are trying to see whether you understand your responsibility as a project manager in that scenario. So that becomes a task. And then enablers refer to a work that is associated with the task, that has to do with the knowledge within the environment that you're operating and your ability to transfer such to your team members. Now, I tell my students, it does not matter the title you have in your organization. If you want to write PMP, you should approach it that you're a project manager. You should approach it that you're a problem solver. You should approach it that you are leading people and you are mindful about their emotional state. You should approach the exam and PMP that you are a servant leader. You pay attention. You are an active listener. You are emotionally intelligent. If you're emotionally intelligent, you are emotionally aware. You know who you are emotionally, and you are managing yourself, and then you are showing empathy to your team. If you are writing this exam, you know that your stakeholders are very, very important. You cannot be fighting with your stakeholders. If you're writing this exam, you must know that the feedback from your stakeholders is key. So you have to listen to them. If you're writing the exam, you have to be mindful that all that you are doing is value creation. You are delivering value to your stakeholders. You are delivering value to your customer, and that is what is driving you. So if there is a problem, you want to find solution that will be beneficial to your customer, to your client, to your stakeholder. If there's a problem, you want to solve it, especially if it is within your threshold before you say you are escalating. If you want to write this exam, you have to think in a win-win situation. You are solving problem. You are not, you are ethical. You are ethical. You don't want to cheat anyone. That's where the win-win situation comes in. So that is how you should be processing. Don't say, oh, but me, I just want to write this exam, because I want to japa, or I just want to write this exam because I just want to know what is going on. Fine. But then this is how you should approach it. This is how you should think about the exam. All right. I've said that when we look at the exam, right from the 7th edition, the PMP is based on ECU, exam content outline. And the exam content outline is broken into domains. And the first domain is people. And the exam you are going to write, or that will be written, because some of you are certified. Now, it's, when the exam changes, now, currently, it is 42%. But when the exam changes, because the exam will change, now you know the exam will change, it will be 33%. And so I've written all the 8 tasks under the first domain, people. Develop a common vision. So if you did your training, you realize that at a point, I think in lesson 2, we have create shared understanding, manage conflict. This will be under form team, because when you bring your team together, there is forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. And we said that during storming, there are a lot of conflicts there. Lead the project team. This would be lesson 4. That's where you craft your leadership skills. You assess yourself to find out the gap. Then engage stakeholders. This will be in lesson 1, where we said that start projects, where you identify your stakeholders, analyze them by checking their power, their influence, their interests, and then you categorize them so that you know how you will be communicating with them. Align stakeholder expectations. This will be when you are collecting requirements. What do you want to see in the projects and that. And then when you are planning scope, this is where you manage your stakeholder expectations. Task 6. That's okay. You have given us 20 requirements, but this project cannot handle all the 20 requirements. Then you prioritize it, and then you plan the scope and define it, that the scope is going to deliver A, B, C, excluding X, Y, Z. Then help ensure knowledge transfer. This is where you are creating atmosphere through workshop, job shadowing, mentoring, coaching, help ensure knowledge transfer. And even through lessons learned, when you are compiling lessons learned in the project, as well as retrospectives, So plan and manage communication. This is also with stakeholders. In fact, we know that what you do as a project manager is highly communication. So this, what I just paraphrased is what you should know when you are writing the PMP exam under the people domain, and that the exam will cover 33% of it. Let's go to the second process. It will move from 50% to 41%, all right? So these are also the task, they are 10. Oh, sorry. Develop an integrated project management plan and plan delivery. This is where we say plan the project, then you come up with why you need to plan. Is to help you lead the project, is to help you provide guardrails. Then you have your baselines, task 2, develop and manage project scope. When you are collecting requirements and you are guiding it, you have the KPIs, and you have given roles and responsibilities to people, and they are providing status reports. You are ensuring that you are within scope. Help ensure value-based delivery. This is one of your key roles as a project manager, your ability to help your team members stay focused on what the project is to deliver. Plan and manage resources. This is where, after you identify roles and responsibilities, you come up with the resources. And we said that when we are talking about resources here, money is not part. We're talking about materials, equipment, the human capital itself, an architect, a quantity surveyor, a mason, a caterer. These are the people, as well as the equipment and materials that you will need. And it's important for you to know, because once you determine the resources you will know, you'll be able to tell whether you would have to go to a third party to get. And that is where procurement comes in. You plan and manage procurement. How are you going to go about it? Are you going to set it up fresh? Are you going to leverage on the one you have within your organization? Are you going to bring a legal person in, depending on what you are going to procure? Task 6, plan and manage finance. This is money. How are you going to get money for the project? This is where you're also mindful of contingencies. And you know that the project contingency, reserve contingency has to do with the risk you identified, and you came up with responses on how to handle this risk should they occur. And so you need to sum up this, the cost implication of the responses, and add them to your project. We also know that there are risks that you may not be able to identify, which we call the unknown unknown, but you need to also allocate some money for such. And the findings after COVID, when PMI did a survey that how did organization cope or handle COVID? And one of the key reasons why the few organizations that did well was that they had risk management culture. And so they were able to bounce back almost immediately. Unlike other organizations, hey, so what do we do? People are falling sick. How do we get money to take them to hospital? For those that had the risk management culture, they had the management reserve and they fell on it. They fell on it. You know, if you are planning, let me use myself as an example. My car was registered. I bought my car 2013, and I've been doing comprehensive insurance. And once in a while, I feel like, this comprehensive, I've never used it. I've never been involved in accident. I've not hit anyone. Nobody has hit me. I'm just wasting money. Let me stop this comprehensive and do third party. Something we say, don't do it. Maybe if you do that, that is when you will be involved in accident or something. Then I will reluctantly pay. This year, my car has been involved in accident, severe ones, twice this year, and I had to fall on the insurance. So sometimes when you are planning and something untoward has not happened, it looks like, oh, this thing is unnecessary. You know, we've done 2 projects and nothing like this has happened. They are just wasting our time. We understand what we are doing, you know, but as a project manager, you plan. If it happens, you are prepared. If it doesn't, all well and good. And I do encourage my students that in your organization, when you plan risk and you come up with a reserve, contingency, please, if the risk did not occur, return the money. That is when I do organizational training or leadership and all that, and I mention risk, that is one of their headaches. They make money available for the identified risk. We call them known unknown, and the risk will not occur, but the money will be spent. Maybe something will come up and say, so I said, don't worry, and the money for the risk is really happy. We have used it for, please return it. God bless you for returning contingency reserve to management. Okay. Task 7, plan and optimize quality of products or deliverables. This is what we do when we talk about cost of quality, and we say there is money you spend to avoid error, and there is money you spend after the error has occurred. So that will be under this task 7. Task 8, plan and manage schedule. You see, when you go for the training, you will not be seeing task 8, task 7, task this. It's infused into the training slide. But I'm bringing it out for you like this to appreciate that when you are reading, whether you are studying, you are reading your question, be looking out for what you are supposed to understand. Is it talking about planning and managing finance? Is it hybrid? Is it predictive? Is it adaptive? Is it talking about developing an integrated project management plan and plan delivery? Let me assure you, if you don't write your PMP now, the PMP that is coming, you can't. When I was in school, please mute your mics, please. Abubakar, I have mute your mic again. Please don't unmute it. See, you can't memorize. You can't memorize the PMP that is coming. So if you have started the process, please complete it now. So help you God. Okay? Then plan and manage schedule. This is also under planning, where lesson 3, where you have plan the project, scope, schedule, budgets, and all that. This is where, if it is predictive, you'll be talking of network diagram for you to get your critical path. All right. And then task 9, evaluate project status. This EVM will be very helpful where you do your schedule variance, your cost variance, your SPI, schedule performance index, cost performance index. And what are you finding? Anything that talks about variance is looking at difference. What we planned against actual. And then you are looking at the efficiency. For every $1 that we spend on the project, are we getting $1 value? Or we are getting 89 cents. So when you do your SPI or CPI and you get 0.8 or 0.7 or 0.9, if it is CPI, it means for I'm in Ghana, so let me use this. And congratulations to the Ghanaians on the call. Nigerians, we are sorry. Next 4 years, may you qualify. Amen. So for every 1 cedi that you spend on your project, are you getting value that is equivalent to 1 cedi? Or you are getting a value that is 1 cedi 20 pesos? Or you are getting a value that is 90 pesos? If it is 90 pesos, then it means how you are spending money is not efficient. It's inefficient. And you are likely going to have budgets or cost overrun. You will spend more than you plan. Okay, so yeah, evaluating the project status will help you to be able to determine whether things are going right or wrong. If they are going wrong, you quickly find solution to it. And then task 10, manage project closure, which some of us or most of us don't do. When you finish project, they pick it up, deliver, oh, they said it's okay, but this is where you do the administrative exercises, closing the contracts, releasing the resources, human, material, equipment, paying off the people that need to be paid. This is where you do the closure, and then you writing the final report as well as doing the final lesson plan. Okay. And then the third domain, business environment. Okay. Define and establish. So these are also 8. Define and establish project governance. Sometimes it's not you. The organization actually have the governance, how project will be managed. All right. Plan and manage project compliance. For you to know the compliance, you need to understand your enterprise environmental factors, which you can use PESTLE, political, economical, social, to be able to know what the influences are for you that you need to comply. And then manage and control changes. Changes will occur. Change is not running away. It's still part of the PMBOK. Sorry, it's still part of the new PMP that would draw some inputs from the PMBOK 8th edition. Task 4, remove impediments and manage issues. You know, when you talk about impediments, we're talking about adaptive. When you talk about issues, you're talking of predictive. And you should also know that issue is something that has happened and it is always negative. Risk is something that has not happened that has some level of likelihood of occurring. And if it should occur, may be positive or negative. That is risk. So if you're reading your question and it's talking about something that if it should happen would have this impact, that's risk. If you're reading and it says something has happened and it's having negative impact, that's its issue. So the risk that you identified that became issue, in addressing them, you will respond to them because you came up with responses. For issues that we call unknown that you did not plan and it occurred, in handling them, we say you work around them. I know that there are usually questions like this in the exam, the workaround and response. And task 5, plan and manage risk. For you to plan, it means you need to identify your risk. So identification of risk, analyzing risk qualitatively first, quantitatively followed, then coming up with responses, and then implement the response, monitor and control will be under the business environment. Because if it is not well managed, it can actually impact the what is it called? The dividends of the shareholders. Task 6, continuous improvement that you should not settle. So if you are a PMP certified and you're on this call, what you're actually doing is continuous improvement because you are already certified. You could lie on your bed and just be playing some webinars to get your PDU or attend conferences so that you can get PDU, and then you'll be fine. But you being here is also a sign that you want to keep learning. And then 7, support organizational change. Business environment is wants project managers to be business minded. You are business minded because if you do not support organizational change, you may actually start working against your organization. So you must be sensitive enough to know that what you are doing may have positive impact, may have negative impact, and this is what I should not do. This is what I should do. Then task 8, evaluate external business environment changes. Today, they may say, don't go here. Tomorrow, they say, go there. So you have to, anything external, it means it is outside the control of the organization or your project. So you listen to news, you watch news, you hear what people are saying, you pay attention, so that you know what is going on that may have impact on the project. Excuse me. Please, this QR code, scan it. It will open a form where you can input your details for PDUs. Let me repeat. Because sometimes a week after the session is when some people will be sending their PMI ID. I'm begging. Just scan this and complete the form. Please, your name as you have it with PMI. That's what I want. And then your PMI ID. Some people don't know where their PMI ID is. Go to www.pmi.org and then log in with your credentials. And then on your laptop, at the top right corner is your name. Click on it. It's a drop-down menu. Select dashboard. If you are like me, dashboard, by now your photograph is there. So you see your photograph, you see your name, you see your title, the organization. Then to the right, you see the date you joined PMI. You see your PMI ID there, and you see your chapter, if you are a chapter member. Please, if you need me to run through how you get your PMI ID, let me know. I think last week or last 2 weeks, I even shared how you can download like your complimentary card that shows you're a PMI member and your ID is there, as well as your expiration date. But if you still need me to go over the steps, I am more than willing. I'm more than willing to do that. So I need you to provide your PMI ID and your name so that I can attend to the PDUs. Thank you. So the requirements. The requirement hasn't changed, but there's a twist, a tweak that I think it's nice. Okay. So I still struggle with this because it looks like people don't pay attention. Whether you have masters, you have PhD, PMI will see you as having a bachelor's degree or higher from a recognized or authorized institution. So if it is from, let's say, University of Ilorin, because I went to University of Ilorin, it's recognized. All right. Or advanced professional or vocational qualification that is formally mapped to EQF level. Don't ask me what EQF, I just copied it. Or the national framework level designated as bachelor equivalent. So it will now be your responsibility if you have a advanced professional or vocational qualification to prove to PMI that it is equivalent to a bachelor's degree. So that is the first requirement. If you have a degree, the number of months of project management work experience that you should have is dependent on whether you have a degree or not. So if you have at least a degree, you'll be proving 36 months, which is 3 years of non-overlapping experience leading projects in the past 10 years. So if you don't go and bring project that you did 20, what are we now? 2015, 1994. I know. So at least I tell my students, go backwards. So this is 2025, 2024, 2023, you know. So if you have a degree, you need to prove that you have 36 months of project management work experience. It should not overlap. If you have projects running concurrently, PMI will pick one. If we count it as one, it will not say this one is 12 months, this one, it will count it as one. So when you are applying, you need to be mindful of this, okay? Now, let's say you don't have a degree and you don't have anything that is equivalent to a degree. Maybe you have A levels, or you have diploma, OND, or HND. Instead of the 36 months that someone that has a degree will need to prove, you will need 60 months, and that is 5 years. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. Now, this one, even me, I have used it for people. Their school projects. PMI is saying no. School projects or academic research for a degree granting program, planning personal events, or home improvement projects do not qualify as project management work experience. And one of the things I actually do for my students is to tell them I have a template. I ask them to put in their project management work experience to enable me read it, you know, so I can knock off what is routine. So avoid routine, avoid operational, because it's projects. It should not be repetitive actions. Avoid administrative tasks. I know someone that has applied multiple times and has been rejected because all what she listed are administrative tasks. So these are the requirements that you need to write PMP. So the PMP exam, the one you are writing now, is 180 questions. But now, it will be 185 questions. 175 of it will be scored. And 10 of the questions are pre-test questions. So you will answer them, but you don't know that they will not be scored. It's a way of PMI testing, you know, the questions before they add it to the main database, all right? So your total questions you'll be answering is now 185 instead of 180. The time has now gone back to 240 minutes. Now it's 2:30. When I say it has gone back, it means when the new PMP starts rolling, it will be 240 minutes. And there are 2 5-minute breaks in the exam. Currently, there are 10 minutes. You see, when you are writing the exam and they say complete a survey, or they say take the 10 minutes, and you say, no, I don't need this, let me just continue. That's the feedback you are giving PMI, that I don't really need these 10 minutes. And so now it's reduced to 5 minutes break. You've write the first 1/3 of the questions, you take the 5 minutes break if you want to. And then the second part, you take another 5 minutes. Okay, it will not be deducted from your exam time. Please don't forget to scan this code so that you can fill the form if you're interested in PDU. So I said, okay, let me share how the questions are. Case of scenario. In fact, I said I was going to type examples of the questions as PMI shared with the ATP. I typed only one. I typed the case of scenario because it's a new addition, and I stopped. Because if you are like me, that do not fancy reading, that is always looking for calculations, you know, that is how that case of scenario is detailed scenario or situation which may include graphs or charts to provide additional context. I promise you, the people that are on this call, that what you see here, I lifted it from the document that PMI shared with ATPs, the authorized training partners. So I'm not making anything up. So this is how the the structure of the questions could be enhanced matching. You have some list here, you have some, this is already part of the questions anyway. Then you match. Then you have graphic-based questions. It's also new. You have multiple choice, single response. You have multiple choice questions or multiple response. You have a question that maybe the response may be A, B, or A, B, C, like 3. And then you have points and click, as part of the question. And then matching. And then pull down. It means like this drop down, you click, it drops, then you pick answers. So this is, I said I attempted typing 1. Case of scenario, this is it. You see how worded it is. A project manager is working for a company that is launching a new smart home device designed to improve. It's long, Papa. The product aims to help consumers. So this is a sample question. Let me tell you my style. When I'm writing exam and I see worded, I mark and I go. Then when I finish, I come back to read because I feel dizzy reading things like this. But I know some people are good. This wouldn't be a problem, If you're interested, I can share the slides with you so that you can read the questions yourself. So who can guess when PMP exam is changing?
June 2026.
June 2026. Okay, some people have, okay. It's July. It's July. And from April, the ATPs will be giving the material so that we familiarize ourselves with. I have already scheduled my training for 2026. So I am thinking seriously of canceling any training if I have any training in May. Because if you did training in May, it means you have to write the exam before July. If you don't, the exam that will be carried out in July will be based on the new ECU. And that was the challenge we had in 2021. We had massive failure in 2021 because people were still training people based on PMBOK 6th edition. And then they would just throw in AJA. They say, go and download the AJA, what PDF and read it, But it's not enough because the planning you did was based only on predictive. But when you are planning, in this current training, you will plan for predictive, you will know how to plan for adaptive, and the combination will be for hybrid. So if all you did was to plan only predictive way, how would you understand the adaptive? So in 2026, please get ATP to do your training. And one of the challenges I have is people are looking for ways of cutting corners. You don't want to pay. Somebody called me and said, Jimmy, I want to do the training, but I did it somewhere and I failed. Then I did it somewhere again, I failed. So I've really spent so much on this. And so can you give me discount? I said, I wish this person had said, give me discount. But you telling me you have spent somewhere, excuse my French, it's not my business. Because my training, the reason why it is the amount that it is because of what you will get from it, the material, you see. So don't use only a fee or cost. If someone is not ATP, the person doesn't have to pay anything because the company ATP pays PMI. The ATP instructor would also pay to become an instructor. The slides that you use, we pay for the slides in USD to PMI. But someone that is not doing all those, they can afford to just come up with something and voila, start training. So the exam will change in July 2026. Please don't relax. Don't say, this is November, I have time. I thought the exam would be changing in January and I was rushing. Please keep rushing and prepare adequately to write the exam so that you can remove your hand. On this note, I'm done. So if you have questions, please scan for your PDUs. And this is one of my favorite slides where you can follow me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Just search for Jumoke Lafenwa. And then you can do likewise for Okin Valley Limited. That's our company. You can also check us out on TikTok. I'm there as at Jumoke Lafenwa and at Okin Valley. They are two separate accounts. And so if you want to chat or ask me any question, you can scan this and chat with me. If you are interested in PDU, you scan this and fill the form for PDUs. So now it's time for question. It's time for questions. Hello. If you don't have questions, let me know.
Hello, Jumoke.
Yes.
This is Gloria. I don't have a question, but I just wanted to thank you for bringing this, first of all, this submission. I enjoyed it. I'm already certified, so it was a very good refresher for me. And thank you very much. I really appreciate.
Thank you.
So you are an ATP, right? I just want to know the name of your institution.
It's Okin Valley, OKIN Valley Limited.
Okay. Thank you.
Most welcome. Let me type it here. All right. Any other question? You didn't complete the heart mission. I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Yes. So when I look at this place, I'm looking at my people on TikTok. Yes. Any question?
Madam, please, how do we get copies of the Pink Book 8?
Copies of
The Pink Book 8.
Oh, just if you remember, go to PMI.org. Okay. Let me try and try to walk you through how to do that. But I think I already shared this. If you're a member of PMI Ghana, even the Nigeria chapter, I shared it with them as well. This is Emmanuel, right?
Madam.
So let me log in first before I share the screen. So you go to PMI.org. For those that are, please can those of us on TikTok also have access to the PDU forms? How do I do it? Send me a message and I would could you scan my screen? I mean, because the QR code. Benedict, you send me a message. Hey, Blessed J, hello Jimmy, long time. Yeah, hello. All right, so let me share. I think I have to let these people see the screen too. Okay, so now let me share my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, madam, we can see it.
All right, some of you will now get to know that I'm also Bridget. So when I'm talking about your screen, the topmost corner of your screen. Sorry? Emmanuel, are you saying something?
Madam, continue. I'll say that when you finish.
All right. So when I say the top corner of your screen, this is what I mean. So this is my name, and you click on it. This is what I have: my dashboard, my certifications, my courses. Sometimes PMI drops courses for you, depending on when you were completing the form to become a member, you would have indicated areas of interest, membership, volunteering, outreach. And so sometimes there are free courses and PMI drops them in my courses. I'm doing some courses, so I don't want to open now for you to see. And then your events, if you registered for events, if you have made subscriptions, it will be here, your membership. This was where I clicked and I shared how you can download even your membership certificate. It's just that I don't like that because it doesn't show your local chapters. It only show PMI global member. Then career navigator, you can, provide certain information, and then PMI will be guiding you on like proposing how to go about career-wise, okay? And then your account. This is where you have whether you have a debit card or a credit card saved and all that. Community profile. You can create a profile where other PMI members that have also created their own community profile can connect with you. Then volunteer. I'm already a volunteer. I volunteer with PMI Ghana, and now I'm also a global volunteer. Because I am ATP, I have this Okin Valley Limited partner platform, and I have the admin portal because I'm one of the admins, yes. So when you click this, I say, for those that say they don't know where their PMI IDs are. So see, the PMBOK 8th edition is here, shaped by learn more. Once you click it, we take you there. But this is it. Your name, like I said, if you're like me, you have a photograph there. You can always edit. I said your name here must match the name on your ID, national ID, if you want to write any PMI exam. So you can see, for me, I belong to multiple chapters. So these are my chapters, the 5 chapters. Okay. So you can download your badge here. You can download your certificate. You can download your member card. Okay. So PMI should be paying me for doing this for them. Then, but that's not why we are here. We are here for the PMBOK. So you click learning. It's a drop-down menu. Then you go to the PMBOK guide. And this is it. This is it. I don't know, maybe I've downloaded things so much, or I don't know, but PMI no longer asks me to even put a moment, please. PMI no longer asks me to put password. I just click and it downloads. That's it. If you want, for now, it's only English. As you go along, they will be misinterpreting, they'll be translating into French, Portuguese, Arabic, then you download it. Do you have any question again on how to download? Are we okay?
Yes, madam.
Okay, what is the best time for writing the exam? Hey, it's dependent on you. It's just that I like when you've started something, do it quickly and remove your hand. The longer you stay, the more you'll be having reasons, excuses to not write the exam. But whilst we are here, we can also look at other things you can have access to. When I talk about certifications, I say there are core certifications, and there are CAPM, PMP, PGMP, PFMP, and then you have the specialized certification, the PMICP, the construction professional, the agile, the risk, the PMO, PBA, all these are specialized. I see Ebenezer. Yes, Ebenezer.
Thank you. Good evening, Jumoke.
Good
And
evening.
thanks for doing this for us. My quick one, my question has to do with, I've seen quite a few people having the PMBOK with their, membership ID at the base, or call it like we have the header or footer in Microsoft Document. Where do you download to get that? And is it the same place you go to download?
Yeah,
Where
yeah. You see that I have logged in. I logged in.
Yeah.
So once I download, it's automatic.
Mm-hmm.
It's automatic. It will pick your PMI ID because it's a member benefit. The people that are not members want to download, they are unable to download it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Most welcome. Let me go back and redo what I just did now. So that's for PMBOK. And it's not only PMBOK. Okay, let me just finish this. It's not only PMBOK. You can download so many things as a member with valid subscription. See the PMBOK, you can download standard for program management, the standard for earned value management. In fact, there was a day I just woke up and I started clicking, and I downloaded everything. The PMI guide to business analysis, the standard for portfolio management. This is the most current PMI certification and sustainability, the GPM sustainability. And once you click on it, learn more. Okay, so let's do this. Learn more. It will open for me to download. I don't know how your system is, but just try it. And if please make sure your membership is valid. Because if you come to me, I'll ask you to take a screenshot of your dashboard. If you came to your dashboard.
So how do you know your membership is valid, please?
Okay, so if you came, first of all, PMI would have been sending you emails about your membership. Say you are the one who paid for it. You will remember when you paid that huge amount, 144 USD. But let's say that you are so rich, 144, when it left your account, but you didn't feel it, you didn't keep it in mind. Just log in and click on your dashboard and come to this page. If you took a screenshot of this, I can tell whether your membership is valid or not. If your membership is not valid, you will see join PMI here. But because my membership is valid, it's showing me my chapters. So if you went to your dashboard and you saw join PMI, it means your membership has expired. Now, some people get worried that, hey, I've not renewed for the past 2-3 years. They think PMI is accumulating. No, they will take only 1 year subscription fee from you, and your PMI ID will be restored to you. Okay, so if we say PDU, give us your PMI ID. This is what you're supposed to give. This one. Am I still recording? No, let me stop the record.